Well, that's right. It's Friday at 5. It's that time to clock out, and get on that road. Let's do it together. I'm Bob the Cigar Guy, and this is I Got the Smokes, Let's Ride podcast experience with me, BTCG, episode number 11. 1-1, baby. 1-1. I am excited about that. We are in 11. We have done 11 straight. That's almost 3 months. Are you kidding me? And oh my goodness. I've had a banger of a week. I have. It's been a hot mess. By the way, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you made it through the week. That you didn't have to use hands on anybody. That you got through your week. That everything is okay and you are ready to go home and enjoy your weekend. I know you earned it. I know you deserve it, and I know you're gonna drink it to the full with the people you love and the people that love you back. Get in that car, get your hands at 10 and 2, 9 and 3, and get on the way home. Be safe when you're driving. Don't look at me, look at the road. Pay attention, that's for sure. And if you get home before the show is over, go ahead and cut this thing off. Shut me down. Say, shut up, Bob. I gots to go. Get in that house and get to living, get to loving, and get to doing what you do. And what you do is awesome. Speaking of awesome, Chief had a moment of awesomeness. He did. Company reached out to him, New Air, reached out to him and said, hey, we want to do a photo campaign, video series. If we send you a humidor, will you do a review on it? And we'll send you a code, which will give anybody who clicks on the code like 10% off. And if they buy it, then we give you $11.16 or some crap like that. But he said, yeah. And so he brought it over to the studio. It's sitting over there. It's got his stuff in it, just fair. And he brought it over to the studio, and he's going to load it up with cigars for the shoot. Lo and behold, he was just going to put an empty box in there. A cool looking empty box, because it was for the shoot. He grabbed a box of FSG cigars. And it felt kind of heavy to him. And you open it up, and lo and behold, there was like 7 FSG cigars. And that FSG, I think this is the Bellicoso. This is that soft box press. I love this thing. Man, I love this thing. FSG was my jam in the day. I haven't smoked an FSG in forever because we just haven't had any in the studio. And so I'm just remiss that we don't get them anymore. They came out with a 20-acre farm, which was a shaded FSG, which is good. It's not my jam. It's not the OG FSG. The OG FSG is just amazing. They hit that thing right on the head. That FSG is fantastic. And I am firing this thing up, and I am being teleported back to a time where everybody was smoking these things, and we were hanging around in a cloud of FSG smoke down in Clearview, Florida, Claremont, Florida, on the FSG farm, 20-acre farm, hanging out at a barn smoker, living the good life, interviewing Jeff Borshwitz. That was fun. Scared the fart out of him. Which he took it all in stride. When I did my videos back then, I used to do a loud, explosive entry, and I tell them, I say, hey, I just want to let you know in the beginning of the video, especially, I'm very loud. They're like, okay, all right, cool, whatever, and I'm like, all right. And so Steve would say, go, and I go, bam, Bob the Cigar Guy, blah 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 blah, and it's hilarious. Frankie Dranks. I did it with him, and he actually got so scared he got a case of hiccups. We had to stop the video so he could get rid of his hiccups. It shook him up. Steve Saka broke out laughing in the first video I ever did with Steve Saka very early on, and he laughed. He thought it was hilarious. Jeff Borsch was jumped, and he actually commented, "Oh my God, it draws like a straw." Delicious. Oh my God. Oh, man, that's such a good cigar. But he did. He jumped and he laughed. He actually commented on it. And the next couple years, I'd say, "You ready for your review or your interview?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm ready this time." And I said, "All right." And I think one of the interviews, he actually jumped back at me. Right? It was it was funny, but that was one of the shticks I did getting started. You know, you got to have a hook. You got to have something to get people's attention. I bent my hat that way. I'd clap my hands and say, "Welcome, welcome, welcome." If you look at my old videos, the ones that Chief edited on iMovie, you can tell the old ones, Flathead series of the Iron Horse, I think it was. There was a Opus X Lost City. There was a couple others, but if you look at those, you'll see me go, "Welcome, welcome, welcome," and I clap my hands, and my hat was bent. And so I did interviews. I got loud. I was actually very excited, and it just kind of came out that way. But I'm loud anyway. I am unashamedly noisy. Let me fix this tripod, even though you're not supposed to be looking. I'm sitting in a big chair while you're sitting in that car. Got the heated seat on. Got the massage going. Right. I'm sitting in this big old chair and leaning forward after a while. And this is an hour video. Where's my back out? But now my tripod is touching my chair, so every time I rock my chair a little bit, it's there we go. We're better. So this chair is kind of funny. Me and Gracie got it. Got Chief chair. Got two other chairs like that. It was for sale at a pest control company in their basement. They had a ton of these chairs. Evidently, these were the conference chairs and the big boss man desk chairs. And they upgraded to better chairs. And so these chairs were like $10. This was like a $15 chair. This big, huge, boss-looking chair. Now, what you can't see is where the elbows rest on the arms. It is tore up. It's almost in need of duct tape. It is threadbare, but you can't see that. It makes me feel like a boss, right? It's comfortable, especially when you sit back and lean back in it. It's leather. It also don't look, just trust me. Also, depending on the color of the light overhead, it actually shines, transfers that light onto that leather, which gives you kind of a vibe look. Like if I go with red, see now you got this reddish pink thing going on. You get the orange. You can see the differences in the colors. That's pink. I don't use that one. And there's green, so you can see that reflection changes the color of my complexion. Can make me look over red or whatever. So I usually use blue because blue is my favorite color. And it just gives that cool white. And then I've got the warm light overhead, that little Edison bulb, which is not an Edison bulb. It's a USB bulb that's kind of twisted with a bunch of little bitty USB, whatever's they're called. And you can change the color and you can dial it up and dial it down. That's dialed at 1%. That's as light as it'll get, or as dark as limited as dim as the light can be. Because when the reviewer is dim, you don't need brightness around you, because that makes them look even dimmer. And I'm pulling little nubbins off this thing. I keep spitting tobacco. That's frustrating. So, how is your day? How is your day? I hope you're having a great day. I do. I really do. I hope I hope you have a plan to smoke something great. I hope you trip up on a cigar that you forgot that you had, that you just loved like nobody's business, and you can just fire that up this week. This video is, I think I'm 3 weeks out. So today is February 26th. If I'm not mistaken, and you'll know, this video is going to drop March So 26, February 26. This is irritating. So 28th, we have one drop. 7th, we have another drop. So this will be the 14th of March. What is that? So this will probably be the 14th of March, if I'm not mistaken. So it's hard. I'm not usually this proficient at getting all my videos out. I've gotten all my videos out up till that time. I just shot a soccer video, which is talking about mooches. Um, Needs to be said. I don't know if people are going to like it or not, but it needed to be said. And then I shot a Drew's Day video on the Pappy Van Winkle. But it's hard to talk current events, right? Because so many things change so much. The media decides what we want to hear about, and so they keep rotating the news cycle. Just last night, um, they passed the no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. And so, I could talk about that and what I think it says. But by the time you see this, it really doesn't have any impact because in the beginning, it's all, one group says, oh, they're going to steal your this, they're going to steal your that, they're just going to give it to the rich, they're going to give it to that. And the other guys say, no, that's not true, they're lying. We're gonna make everything fantastic and phenomenal, and somewhere in there there's the truth. And then comes the vote, which happened last night, and then they say, I want you to notice that this group, they didn't vote one person for it, and they hate you as Americans. Right? And they say, but we all but one of us voted for it because we love America. Right? I don't think either group doesn't love this country. I think they have different perspectives of what is important. And I think some people side with one group because that fits their personal narrative or their experiences or their hopes and expressions of success and assuaging of fears. And the other group has those same feelings, just as passionate on the other side. And then there's the people in the middle that either pick and choose a little of this and a little of that, or they just say, heck with both of y'all, we're just going to do our own thing. And I think that's one of the things that makes America my favorite country in the world. So they're going to talk about the vote. And then I thought it was dead. I thought it was done because they made it sound like everything's dead and done. I looked at it today, this morning. I was up early this morning. This is my day off. I got to knock all these reviews out and get the editing done, get it posted up so I don't have to worry about it. Because they've been calling lots of overtime, so I don't have as many days off as I should. I'm working 6 days a week usually, 10, 11 hours a day. So it makes it hard to come home and live life and do reviews and have balance. So the days I have where I can do reviews, I have to knock them out. But I'm sitting here early this morning. I'm looking at the news because I knew the vote was happening. I just wanted to know about it. Just see. And they said it passed. And then they said, but that's not all. There's framework. But now they have to write out the whole, all the details. And then it's got to go to one group and they have to look at it and they have the chance to add and subtract things before they send it back to the people who sent it first. So they have to approve the changes or not approve the changes, and so they can send it back again and back. And then when that house is done with it, they vote on it. And if it goes through, then they send it to the other group of people, and the other group of people go through all of that. If they approve it as it is, then it just vote on it and it passes, is done. If they say, well, we like it, except it's got this we want to change, they change it, they vote on it and say, yeah, let's change it. So you send it back to the first people. And the first people look at it and say, well, yeah, okay, we'll accept that change. And if they accept that change, then a big vote happens and everything's fine. But if they don't accept that change, they make the changes, they send it back and forth and back and forth. This could go on for years, I guess. See, I don't know. What I do know is division and um, crisis and chaos sell papers, sell eyes on media because they don't really sell papers much anymore. Gets eyes on news. If everything's perfect, if everything's wonderful, if everything stays the same, then nobody watches the news. And nobody watches the news, then they can't sell commercials on the news for bagillions of dollars because nobody will do it because nobody's watching the news because the numbers don't count. So it's not about you getting informed. It's about you getting entertained in a way where you keep watching, where you're engaged in the situation so that you keep watching. They don't care about the information they give you. They just care for what information is going to give you the most time in front of their screen. Sorry. It is not a, what are those called? Conspiracy theory. It's just a fact. Old saying, way back when. People who don't read the newspaper are uneducated. People who do read the newspaper are miseducated. That was back before they had TVs. So it's the fact. And so who knows what's going on with this tax for tips? Maybe now that it's done 2 weeks, 3 weeks now, you're watching this. Maybe this is a no start conversation. I don't know. It looks good on paper. I mean, I haven't seen the paper. What I'm saying is, I work a lot of overtime. I like to get no taxes on overtime. You wouldn't believe how many people that I work with are like, man, I hate working overtime because Uncle Sam takes all my money. And I'm sitting there going, well, my papa used to tell me, my grandfather, who came from the Depression, who worked really, really hard, made something of himself from nothing, immigrant family, all that good stuff. Um, as I was sitting there, he said, you going to work today? And I said, no. And he said, why? They ain't got no work for you? I said, no, I could go on an overtime, but, you know, they're only paying me back then. It was, God knows, $5 an hour maybe. I said, only paying me $7.50 an hour for overtime, and they're going to work me harder than that, and I'm worth more than that. And he goes, well, you work till you can get paid what you're worth because sitting here, you make no money at all. Get your butt up off this chair and go to work. He made me get dressed and go to work. That always stuck with me. I can complain about it and make no money, or I can complain about it and make more money. And even if the government takes some of my money, I'm making more money and I'm sitting at the house doing nothing. But it would be nice to get no taxes on tips as long as the infrastructure of the country is okay. You know, it'd be nice. The tips thing, I'm down with that. It used to be they really couldn't tax tips because when I was waiting tables way back when, you didn't pay with a debit card, you didn't pay with a credit card, you pay with cash or a check. When you pay with a check, it was a pain in the butt because um, you put your tip on your check, and then you'd have to get your manager to cash you out your tips, and that was it and that. But usually people would throw cash on the table. You just put it in your pocket. So it was almost impossible for them to know how much. And then when I was starting to leave the restaurant industry, they were starting to do this thing where they say, okay, you as a server, your table's paid out $500, let's say, real easy number. And estimate is that you're going to make 10% on tips because that's what's supposed to be. So we are going to cut that in half to 5%. So on $500, 10% is $50, 5% is $25. So we are going to say that you made $25, and we're going to put that down for taxable income. So back when I was a server, I made $2.12 an hour, and so I made a whole lot more than $25 in tips because I can't live off $25 in tips. But it was an easy, simple way to do it, and that's how they started putting their finger on the scale and this and that. But now everybody pays with debit card. I pay with debit card all the time. Everybody pays with debit card, and so they have a record of exactly how much money you made, and at the end of the night, they cash you out. Hopefully they don't just save your money, your tips, and put it in a check at the end of the week. I don't know. That would suck. It used to be like a regular job, but that would suck. Now waiting tables, getting hardly a paycheck at all, and getting tax on tip or getting cash tips makes it hard because it's easy when you get done with work. You're going to go out to eat and you spend more money than you should, or you go get something to drink, or you go get a comic book or whatever you do, and you don't have money to pay your bills. You have to be really careful about that. Luckily, I was living at home most of the time. I was waiting tables, so I had that safety net. But you know, hopefully, we can change this dynamic, and some people are going to be mad at me, which is okay. Be mad. Hopefully, they will change this new social dynamic where I saw this thing that said, okay, if you pay $30 for a dinner, you take 10% of that, which is $3, and then you triple that number. So you're paying 30% to a waitress or a waiter. That, let's face it, service has gone downhill. It's not what it used to be. You used to have to take classes to be a server. Now services, they're cramming so many tables, they don't have time to spend time with you. They don't even bring out your food most places. Most places, somebody from the back brings out your food, and they barely keep your water full. I mean, I drink water because I'm cheap. I don't mind water. But one of the ways I will know if I'm going to tip my waiter or waitress is if I drink my water, and I'm not trying, but if I drink my water and I get down to the last half an inch of my water and it ain't full, Bubba, your tip just dropped. Call me old fashioned, call me a grump, call me whatever you. I don't care. Your tip just dropped. Don't come check on me. Ask me, do I need something? And I say ketchup, and don't bring me back ketchup. Wait 10 minutes to bring me back my ketchup. I'm sitting here wanting to eat my food together, and I can't eat my french fries the way I want to because I don't have ketchup. So I either have to wait till my french fries are cold, or I have to wait for all my food to get cold because I want to eat it together as a unit. Take a bite of chicken sandwich, take a bite of french fry, I can't do that. That'll tick me off fast. I won't complain, but I won't tip well. I won't. Give me great service, I'll tip you more. Am I tipping you 30%? Psh, did you chew my food for me? Mm-mm. Nope. I ain't doing it. So, one of the things I believe is working fast food and waiting tables in just regular restaurants. I'm not talking about fancy restaurants. Is not a career choice. It is a way to get you from one place to another, whether you're in school or you're just starting out or you just need to be grinding and making money. But that is not supposed to be a living wage job. It's not. Fast food is not supposed to be a living wage job. It's supposed to help kids get into the workforce to learn how to be a servant, how to help people, how to do something bigger than themselves, how to have a work ethic, how to get to work on time, how to deal with conflict resolution. It's also good for senior citizens where they just need to add to their Social Security, or they need to make a little bit of money, or they need to get some a little kick on the side, or it's something as a transitionary between one job to the next, but it is not meant to be a career, a regular food service person. You want to go into management, that's different. But I truly believe that, and to think that um, that you're going to treat that as a forever job, I disagree with. Now, you want to do that, knock yourself out. If that's what you want to do, if you just love food service and you love doing that kind of stuff, you want to be a barista at Starbucks, or you want to be this and that, that's fine. But you make those decisions. Don't complain that you're not making $100,000 a year, and don't tell me that the minimum wage should go up to $15 to $20 an hour for a food service worker because they're not making a living wage. It's not meant to be a living wage, and that food is cheap. And one of the reasons it's cheap is because the service is expected as it should be. Um, Boy, howdy, did I just get into a rabbit hole there? Yeah. Wow. I don't know how I ended up here, but I'm trying to stop myself because I am just. Do you hear me? Do you hear what I'm saying? Boy, I sound like a grump. Wow. But it's true. Wow. Bob, think up a story. Think of something funny because this ain't what people want to hear going home at 5 o'clock on Friday. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, Bob, what are you doing? You big dummy. But it's true. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. What are we going to talk about? Bob, let's change the subject. Let's get off of that. Oh my gosh. That's why we don't talk about things of today because you just pull out your lawn chair, you sit on your porch, you tell kids to get off your lawn, right? Oh my gosh. Bob, get it together, man. But I'm right. Sorry, I'm going to say it. I'll tell you what I did say. I think you ought to watch the video. It's a Sunday video that says, don't be a mooch. Man, I just got done shooting that video. Evidently, I'm in grunt mode today. Now I'm thinking about it because I did. I talked about those people that post up pictures of cigars at the beach that have wonky burns and they want the manufacturer to replace them, and they cast shade on that manufacturer like nobody's business without going through common sense conversations with people. They just want their 15 minutes of fame, and they think that if I complain about a single cigar I smoked, they're going to send me a box of cigars, and I'm going to do that every month, and then I don't have to buy cigars, right? That's just really. And I got to tell you, this FSG is smoking delicious. Usually, when I'm smoking a delicious cigar, when I'm smoking something that's really, really good, it makes my mood better. It does. It makes me happy. It makes me smile. But I tell you what, this FSG's got some aggression in it or something because I am just, oh my gosh. Wow. Let me not have a conversation with the First Lady right now. Let me not get into a discussion about something that I don't agree in. Because I'm gonna get myself in trouble because I'm gonna say stuff. I am. I don't know what the heck has gotten into me. How's your driving? How you doing? How you doing on the road? Is everything okay? No road rage. Nobody bothering you. Got enough gas, right? You stop and get you something to drink. You empty your bladder before you left work. Boy, I do that. I got to make sure I do that. I guarantee. I'm gonna grab me a Diet Pepsi from the vending machine. I love Diet Pepsi, and I'm gonna go hit the little boys' room real quick and work that out. So I mean, I don't have a bladder that needs depends. I'm not saying that, but and it's only 45 minutes to the house. That's fine, but I might not. If I drink a whole bunch of water at work, and I don't go. 2 hours later, I got to go. But Bob, your drive is only 45 minutes. Well, my drive is only supposed to be 45 minutes. What if there's a traffic accident? What if the road is blocked? What if I get a flat tire? What if somebody needs help and the clock is ticking on the bladder? Right? I want to prepare for. I want to prepare for unknown options, unknown things that aren't known. Bob, try new words; they work. And I'm that guy. I am. Uh, I am not trying to get somewhere on time. I'm not. If I'm supposed to meet you at 2 o'clock, I want to be in the area at 1:30, and I'll roll around the area till 1:50, 1:55, and then I'll pull in because I usually don't want to sit there for 30 minutes looking like a goober. So I'll roll around. But I'll stay, excuse me, I'll stay in that area. When I go to work every day, I get to work. I have to walk. Once I park my car at the car mill, I have to walk 3/4 of a mile to get to my toolbox at my bay. If you didn't know this, I build cars for an automotive manufacturer in Greer, South Carolina, and my job is a reworker, which is basically a mechanic on cars that have never been used. When the cars come off the line and they're not perfect, they have a group of people called reworkers that actually fix those cars. If it's got the wrong rim on it, we change a tire. If it's got a scratch on it, we do this and that. If the part needs to be replaced because there's an issue, if a part was missing, I'm a specialist. I have a specialty, and my specialty is glass. So anything that's urethane glued into the car that's glass, whether that be the sunroof, the shark fin, the windshield, the back glass, the quarter glass, it's my job to cut it out without scratching the car, clean it up, and get a new one and put a new one on and put it all back together. And so my area is almost 3/4 of a mile away from where my car is. And so we start work at 7 o'clock, which the earliest you can clock in is, well, you're learning stuff you don't need to know, but at least I'm not talking about tips and trouble. Um, I can clock in as early as we go to work at 7 o'clock. We have our morning meeting at 7 o'clock. We can clock in as early as 6:50, and then we just walk. I don't know, 100 yards to where the meeting place is, the break room area. I will be sitting at my toolbox, done parked, done walked in that 3/4 of a mile. I'm sitting at the toolbox at 6 o'clock every day, every single day, pretty much. Why? Well, number one, I like to start my day off with a little bit of peace. I want to get there. I want to sit down. I want to unlock my toolbox, open it up. Then I got my earbuds in, my AirPods in, and I will look at emails that I need to address. I will look at messages people send me. If you send me a message, I will message you back. That's for sure. I look at YouTube if there's any comments. I'll comment back. Sometimes I'll look at see how some views are trending, some videos are trending of mine, and then I'll just kind of get on YouTube Shorts or Facebook Reels, scroll through Facebook, but then I'll go in there and I'll just watch videos and veg out. That's one of the reasons I do it, is because I just want to I don't want to start my day in a hurry. I don't. I want to get into it. I want to slide into it. Because it's a very difficult job. It's very mentally taxing, believe it or not, and it's very detail oriented. There's a lot of ways I can mess up the cars, and that screws up the timeline the customer gets the car. So, and it's physically demanding. It's very hard to cut that urethane out sometimes and do the stuff that I do. But one of the other reasons is if I'm driving into work and I get a flat tire, I have enough time to either fix that tire or call the first lady or Gracie or chief and say, hey, the car's broke down. I got to get to work. Will you come bring me the other car? And Sarah's done it before, very kindly. She will bring me the car, and I will have already called somebody to start, whatever our insurance company is to get things started fixing it. Or Chief or Gracie will come over and they will help do whatever. And I will already start the process. But as soon as she shows up, I'm going to jump in the vehicle and I'm going to take off and I'm going to leave it in good hands. The first lady's not going to fix the car. Not that she can't. She is more than capable and able, but she is married to me. She will not pump gas. She will not carry in all the groceries when I'm there. And she will not be fixing on cars. Not that she can't, but she won't, because that's my job. Period. I think that's what men ought to do. But, Gracie's tough. She's hard-headed. And so she'll jump in there and she can fix cars. She works at the plant too. If Chief comes over, he'll take care of that or whatever. And I will be on my way to work, so I won't be late. Or if there's a traffic backup. There was an accident, the fire department's there, and I got to go around and reroute. I'm not worried that I don't have time, or traffic is busy, or I hit every last light on the main drag. Kind of like you're doing today, sadly. I don't actually know if you're doing that, but there's somebody going through it, and they're like, man, that boy is smart. How did he know that? So I get places early. I don't get in a hurry when I leave. I take my time. When I walk out of the plant, I walk regular speed. These young whippersnappers, boy, they are running out of the plant. I'm like, man, y'all didn't work hard today if y'all running that fast. I'm dead, right? I get in the parking lot and I just putter along, give myself time to get home. Speaking about, because I still got 23 minutes. Speaking about dudes supposed to do what dude's supposed to do. First lady's been on this kick of making the house better, doing projects. She's actually amassing tools, and she got a little raggedy tool chest kind of thing. Really cool. She painted the whole kitchen, did an amazing job. Amazing job. Patched all the little spots. I mean, she did pro level work. She changed all the outlets, every last switch and plug. I never did it before, and so she just watched videos and she figured it out. She got Gracie to help her, and she did all that, and they're all straight, and they're all the right color, and they're all the right depth. They don't stick out too far from the fixture, from the plate. She did all that, and then she wanted to change a light in the laundry room. We found a light, Costco. She did that. I had to get a dimmer, LED dimmer switch, which the switch actually cost more than the freaking light did, but she did that and got it right. Then she wanted to change the, this a couple nights ago, then she wanted to change the, we've got a front stoop light that hasn't worked in, 4 or 5 years, because we got outside lights, and she's like, I'm going to change that light. I'm going to switch the bulbs and da-da-da-da-da. And I come home from work, and 7 o'clock, 6:45, ready to sit down and have dinner. And there's a step stool on the porch, on the stoop, and there's the light. I look up the light fixture, and it is halfway down, and it is, tools are different places. And so I go in the house, and she goes, I can't get that thing to come off. And it's old. It's probably a 20-year-old fixture. It's one of the old square fixtures with the glass panels, the frosted panels on it. Old, right? Rusty old. It's supposed to have 2 thumb screws that you just take that whole top off. You can change the bulbs. But I come in and I say, hey, Macy jumps in my arms, hugs me. Caden gives me a pound. The dogs are bothering me. And she goes, I can't get that dang thing off. I can't figure it out. And she's cooking. And I said, you want me to fix it? And she goes, would you? I said, yeah. So I ain't even changed my clothes. I'm still in my uniform, my work clothes. I walk outside and I look at it and diagnose it and come to find out that they didn't. One of the thumb screws got lost. Those nice thin machine threaded screws got lost, and so they put a freaking wood screw, little wood screw in there that was not stainless, so it was rusting outside. You could barely even see the slot in it. It's such an old screw. It was a flathead. So I grabbed one of her tools and I got up there and I popped that off, and then I went to put the light bulb up in there, and the light bulb doesn't fit because it's too small of a component and this and that. And so I said, all right. I said, we got to go get new light bulbs. Not today, if you don't mind, but we need to go get new light bulbs. We'll put new light bulbs up in there, and then we'll be able to put this thing back together. I said, but eventually we're going to need to just buy a new outlet or a new fixture. And she goes, yeah, but not today. And I said, you want me to leave the bulb in and just leave it naked? She says, sure. So it's naked right now. It's up on the naked. Okay. That does not mean that there is nudity on the outside of my house. I'm not saying that. Naked, when I'm saying naked like this, it's a southern phrase, which means uncovered. So it's a naked light bulb, which means if you drive up to it, you can see the actual light bulb, not the fixture. I didn't put the fixture back on. So don't freak out. I'm not saying I was naked on the front porch. I'm not saying I'm making naked light bulbs. It's not an adult oriented. It's not even a red light. It's a regular old white light, yellow color. Yellow doesn't mean it's out there hollering. Ah, no, yeller means it's yellow, amber. That light, like the one over my head. Don't look. You're driving. So, that's what dudes do. That's what guys are supposed to do. If she wants to do all her projects, which I'm excited about, she's wanting to do them. And if she gets to a spot where she's hung, it doesn't matter if I worked all day, and I need to help her out. If she says I can't get it, I'll say, well, let me step in and do. Not that she can't, not that she's not smart, because she's got a master's degree. She's extremely smart. She can figure things out. She does things that there's no way that I could do. When she does her Sunday second Saturdays with the First Lady show, she has a whole freaking outline like a college thesis. It's crazy. She prints them out in triplicate. She gives me one. It's just, I'm sitting there going, you better than me. I fly by the seat of my pants. But I've always been that working guy. So I have tons and tons of experience, and I've made tons and tons of mistakes, figured out how to fix them because I couldn't pay nobody to fix them. I got to fix them myself. And so that gives me knowledge. And so I have a better handle on some of these things because I've already done them before. So that's what a guy's supposed to do. I believe that. Now, I'm not saying girls can't do it. I'm not saying girls shouldn't do it. You want to do it, do it. You shouldn't have to do it. I take the garbage in most of the time. Take the garbage out all the time. There's a boogeyman outside. Bubba, I'm the one checking. Now, she's got to wake me up because I trust her to hear better than I do. And she'll tap me, and boy, I'm ready to go. We're going to make things happen. We're going to protect and defend. Yesterday, long day of work, hard day of work, lunchtime, she sends me a text. She says, I think we have a leak under the house. I hate going under the house. It's a crawl space, literally a crawl space. And when they did the house way back when, they didn't level under the house. There's mounds of dirt where they had to dig out for the footers or the pylons. They just left mountains. I get it. Nobody's going to be up under there, right? Except for me. They got mounds of dirt so you have to crawl through sometimes, and you can't get through because the mound of dirt is below and the air conditioner duct is above, and my butt don't fit. Even if I grease myself up in WD-40, it ain't gonna happen. And then I'm always looking for snaky snakes. It's cold, but I don't care. I ain't. And there's spiders and whatever vermin are up under there. And I don't have vermin up under there. I didn't have any snakes. I didn't see any snake evidence. I saw a couple spiders, but they didn't bother me. I don't have a vapor seal on the ground. So all the little rocks and stuff are getting in my knees. And so I'm like, I don't want to crawl up under that house. But she said, there. I thought I spilled some water out of my cup or something. And but it's been there for days. I put a towel on it and it's still wet. And so she said, I think that the pipes have a leak and it's blowing up to the underside of the house, and it's just starting to mess up the floor. And I'm like, crap. And so I actually talked to a couple friends at work who are going through doing some restorations and stuff. They know some stuff. And they said, yeah, she's right. There could be a possibility that that could be what's happening. I'm like, crap. So I get home. Sarah has made a delicious looking dinner. It smells good when I come in the house. She made meatballs and rice. And she cooked the rice in Lipton onion soup, which gave this brownish, beefy flavor. She had gravy and mushrooms with the meatballs, and I thought they were store bought meatballs. You know, the ones in the bag that have half. They're fluffy. When you bite into them, they're fluffy because they got so much additives to them. She made these from hand, and they were all the same size, and they were dense, and they were delicious. And I went in there, I'm smelling that. I'm like, oh my God, that smells so good. I said, you don't think it can wait until tomorrow on my day off to crawl up under that house, do you? And I knew the answer was no. I need to get up under there tonight. I knew it, but I just didn't want to do it. It's dark. It's wet. It's cold. I don't want to get up under there. I just got done working. She was, yeah, probably. And I said, yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't even know why I asked. My bad. And so I got changed. Got my AirPod in. Got my phone. Got my flashlight from Ryobi. I got a Ryobi light. Really love that light. Crawled my butt up under there. Never been to that part of the house. Never gotten that far up under and around to the house. And it's undulating. And there's lots of shadows. And for whatever reason, when they built this house, so stupid, they put the hot water heater under the house. Big old fat, stubby, short, fat water heater. I don't know how they got it in. And then that water heater busted, so they moved it out of the way and put another water heater up. So I got two water heaters up under there that I'm not using that I have to crawl around. It doesn't sound like a big deal, right? Because I don't live up under there. I get it, but you know what? They cast shadows, and there is it's a possibility that there's a snake back there that I don't see till I hang around the corner, and that snake comes up and he looks at me and says, "Hello, big boy," and I'm like, ah, and I stand up through the floor. And then I have to fix the floor because I don't want to get underground with snakes. Now, I did have my pocket knife, my Drew Estate Barn Smoker green pocket knife, my favorite VIP pocket knife I've ever had. I love that knife. Reminds me of the Gerber Gator. Had it up near my chest, hooked on my shirt. Because it's in my pocket. What am I doing? I'm laying down. I can't grab it out of my pocket because I'm laying in my pocket. So I was ready to get it, right? I was ready to get it. So I was crawling around. No snakes. Looking around, taking inventory of the house, seeing what everything looks like up under there. And I get to the area of the bedroom, under the bedroom, and Miss Macy keeps yelling through the vents, "Hey, Big Daddy, hey, Big Daddy." So I got to keep yelling, "Hey," back. Get on the phone with the First Lady, FaceTime, and we're looking at it together, and I'm pulling out some of the insulation so we can see the pipes, and there's no problem, none whatsoever. And you know, if you've been following this at all, been following me at all, you know that I had to do a huge rebuild in the bathroom just recently, where I thought it was going to be a 2x2 spot that I had to replace. It became a 8x10 spot. I had to do the whole floor. I had to replace 4 or 5 joists. I had to do some reinforcement. I had to do some thises and some thatses. I had to put some floor jacks up. I mean, I had to do a lot. And so it was really cool to be up under there. And I turned the camera. I said, "Look at this! Look at this construction! Look how good these double beams are, and look how good this is. And look, this is what their construction is. This is what my construction is." Because I wanted attaboy. I did. I wanted her to see that I did a good job. Because once you put the floor on, you can't tell. And in the past, I have done some shady work just to get by, but I really did a great job on that. I did. And so it was nice to see it from the underside, on the side that I had never seen. So it was kind of cool. Now, the funny thing is, I was laying on my back with the camera up looking at something, and right out of the corner of my eye, what I see is a very thin green snake pop me in my face right by my eyeball. I holler. Drop the phone. I freak out. I spin around. It's a piece of solid core green electrical wire. It just happened to be an extra piece of wire. They had crap all up into that house. Extra piece of wire that I just kind of rolled on, and it was sticking up in the air, and it was bent in just a way where when I hit it the right way, it tapped me in the side of my face, and I was sure I was going to die. I was sure I got bit in the face by a freaking bamboo snake or something like that from Vietnam that's going to kill me. There's no way I can put a tourniquet on my face, right? And so I'm gonna die and or be disfigured even more than I am naturally. And I had a good laugh. I said, "Look at what I just got bit by a snake in the face." And she goes, "What?" And I said, "Look." And she laughed and I laughed, and I thought that was hilarious. But we looked at it, and I was up under there and surveying everything. And she goes, "All right, come on out and get something to eat." Now I gotta climb. I gotta crawl. My knees are hurting. My arms and elbows are hurting because that ground has got all these little pebbles and crap all over it. And I get done. I hang up the phone. I still got my AirPod in my ear, listening to music. And it just happens to be that the place I'm laying on, the hill of dirt that I'm on, it just kind of feels like a lazy boy recliner. And I just laid there for a minute. I did. I lay there for a couple minutes and just, it was quiet. It was cool. At that moment, I was transported into a spa. It just was wonderful. And I laid up under there for a couple minutes. And then I proceeded to crawl myself out. Crawl myself out the hole. Dust myself off. Block back up the little crawl access door and go in the house and have my dinner. 8:30. 8 o'clock. So, that's what guys do. There's no way I would ever send my wife up under the house. Ain't no way. I couldn't live with myself. Not that she can't. She could. Not that she's better than me. But it's my responsibility to provide for her, to give her security, and to do the things that she shouldn't do. Not that she can't. She wants to get a job, which she has. She wants to make more money than me, which I don't mind. It's always been in my mind, though, that it's not her responsibility to have a job. I like it. It makes life better. But I don't have the option to work or not work. I have the responsibility to put in that time. Now, if you're a lady and you take offense to this, please don't. I'm not saying that men are better than women or women are better than men. I'm saying in the society that we live in, I believe it is best that we choose to care for the ladies in our lives in a way where they feel like they are cared for and valuable. We do. At least I do. That's my mindset. That's the mindset I want to instill in my children and in my grandchildren. I want them I want the boys to expect to do that for their ladies. Be gentlemen, be savages, be warriors, be workers. I want to set that expectation for my daughter and my granddaughters, my daughter-in-law, that they should be it should be expected to be treated well. I think that makes a difference because when these little young huckabucks come by, they don't just go with the flash and go with the fun and go with the this. They look for substance. They look for commitment. They look for quality. And I want to make it very hard for whoever is going to try to date or marry my granddaughters or daughter. I want to make it very hard for them. I want to give them a standard that they have to live up to that is difficult. I want to weed out the thugs and the idiots and the lazies and the moochers because I want my granddaughters to be and my daughter to be loved. And I think that's one of the ways we show love. I want my son, who's married, and my grandsons to have expectations of themselves to do what needs to be done because they have expectations when they carry the name Finley. They have expectations to be the best they can be and to make a difference and to give back and to not only survive but to thrive and help other people thrive. That's important. And I want them to be men. I want them to be able to split wood. I want them to know what blisters are. I want them to know what a hard day's work is. I want them to know how to use their brain. I want them to know how to do conflict resolution. I want them to know how to defend, and I also want them to know when not to fight. I want them to know how to fix cars. I want them to know how to fix things in the house. I want them to know how to do amazing things. I want them to know how to build crazy things. And I want those things for my granddaughters too. I want them not to have to have a man do things for them. I want them to be able to do it themselves, but then them choose not to because they don't have to. I don't know. Am I wrong? Am I sideways? I ain't changing. But it'd be interesting to get your perspective to say, Bob, that's outdated thinking. That's toxic masculinity. That's not giving people the right. I'm willing to listen. If you want to leave me a comment and tell me, man, you're just out of your mind. If this episode did not scratch your itch, if this episode is like you're listening to it now just out of spite, give me another shot because this is different. I don't know how we went down these roads. I don't know where my brain went. I don't know why I got grumpy, man. I really don't. But this is unscripted. It is what it is. We're on episode 11. We still have what? 41 left. God, that's 20%. Man. Yeah, that's 20%. So we're doing good. I'm committed to a year. I'm going to do my best to get out 52. Which, out of all of our products, if I get out 52, one a week, that will be the first time because I always have weeks where I don't. 4th of July, I'm off. PCA, I'm off. This and that. I'm trying to get ahead of the schedule so that when those times come, Christmas comes, I don't do content. I really want to be successful. It's a goal of mine. And I hope that this year you will choose to ride with me or let me ride with you. And speaking of that, if you're home, get in the house. Cut this thing off. Go enjoy life. Leave me a comment. Tell me you love me. I could use a little bit of that right now. Give me some encouragement. I could use it. So, I love you. I hope you have a great week next week. I hope your weekend is fantastic. You recharge your batteries and you have that reason for living because we work so we can live. We don't live so we can work. So, take your time. Take your breaks. Take your pause. If you don't take yours, somebody will take it from you. You need it. Self-care is not selfish. So we got 14 seconds. I love you. I do. I love you. I love you. I love you. I may never meet you, but I know you're awesome and amazing. And I love the fact that you make the world a better place. Please stay around as long as you can. If life is hard, reach out. I'll see you later. Drive safe. Later, Tater.